The following episode may contain sensitive content. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, guys.
Hi, welcome.
Hello.
This is The Show Must Go On.
I'm Giovanni.
I'm Tracey.
And I am Nikki. And we are here to judge you.
Yes, and judge others and other actors and films because we are experts.
Exactly.
We know everything.
We know everything, so you should listen to us.
Which you are.
Right.
Exactly, that makes sense.
Off on a good foot.
Yes.
We're professional. We'll give you all the facts. We will tell you what's right, what's wrong, and there's no other way.
No other way. So you listen
What
to
says
us.
goes.
We are your mommy.
Oh, God.
Actually, no.
I don't want to be anybody's
You know what,
mommy.
Joe? I think we are their daddies.
We could be your daddy.
Oh, my gosh.
You have that position filled, Joe. That's all you.
Jeez.
What have you guys been watching lately? Any good stuff? Give me some recommendations.
I've been watching Shogun and Palm Royale. I feel like this past weekend I was like socially busy, which is you know what I watched? Dune, the first one.
The second one? Oh, the first one.
No, the first one.
Okay. Thoughts?
And I fell asleep. So there we go.
The first one I thought. Yeah,
Tracey and I watched it together, the first one.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of boring until the very end when Zendaya popped up, and I was like, yeah, and then it was like 5 minutes, and it was over.
Yeah, the whole time I was like, wait, is she in this movie at all?
Yeah.
I
I bet the second part is probably better, because that's all the action, because I feel like the first movie was a lot of setup.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the thing with the spices and the whatever. So they're setting groundwork for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't get it. And if Tracey didn't get it, I was like, oh, fuck.
I felt really dumb. But the cinematography was great.
And also,
Yeah, it
you
was
know what I was
beautiful to look at.
thinking? Because, like, I watched it because I was like, oh, I'll go to the movies. Like, Trey and I will go to the movies next week and we'll watch part 2. And I'm like, I don't even know if I want to anymore.
Yeah. Is it still in theaters?
Yes. You can also rent it online now, I saw.
Oh,
Both. Yeah.
even better.
There you go. Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. So
at
I
home, you have your
watched it.
wine.
A half of it I was asleep. Then I woke up and I was like, well, I still don't see her in the movie. And I
honestly,
saw her at the
didn't
end.
really miss anything.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I've seen. What about you, Trace?
Well, last week, Joe had mentioned that what Jennifer did, documentary on Netflix.
I watched
You
it
watched
too.
it too?
Yes.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
And all I did was I looked at the, the thumbnail, like the poster for it, and I was like, I think I know this story.
You did?
And I did.
Oh.
I did, yeah. But, I mean, it was still interesting because I've heard it on other podcasts, but to see the police interviews,
Yes.
I mean, that's interesting too, because knowing what I knew about it and then seeing how she acted in the interviews. So,
we
wow,
watch too much
it was
true crime that
really-
we already heard everything.
It's also like
Yeah.
like right away I knew it.
I knew she did.
And I don't
way
even
that-
think it was like because then I was like, well, the title kind of gives it away, but it was just, I don't know if it was the way that story, the setup of like the film was, But right away, I was like, this bitch, rather than leaving home and being like, I'm just going to figure it out myself, get a job, leave. She chose to get rid of her parents to be with this guy. Or how do you lie for 4 years about school? 4 years. That's so much.
I know, that time you may as well just go to school.
Yeah, and she created a diploma, no?
Yes, a fake diploma. She was photoshopping report cards and
I have no words.
Student loans and everything. So it's like you may as well have just gone.
Yeah.
Just
and then to choose to to actually make the choice of I'm getting rid of my parents, like killing them. It's you must be really fucked up in the head.
Yeah, I just don't understand because apparently she was this progeny on the piano. No, on the piano. Right. Amazing musician. So why don't you just tell your parents, well, maybe I won't go to school. I'll make money teaching lessons or doing concerts or you could get paid as a musician. So if you're so good at it, why don't you do that?
Yeah.
I think she had the pressure from her parents that, from immigrant families.
To be a pharmacist.
You have to be a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer, those are the...
Well, she didn't have the grades for that. She wasn't smart enough.
She didn't, but I mean, that's the expectation, unfortunately, and they face so much pressure.
Yeah.
I know, I don't understand that.
Asian culture.
Yeah, I was like, maybe it's the pressure, but it's just there's so many ways out of everything she did.
Yeah.
And the last, it's not even a thought to, get rid of your, I can't with people. People are fucked up.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. So yeah, I did watch that too this weekend.
Good. Well, I'm glad you guys watched it. Because I liked it. But I didn't know the story, so. But also the title does give it away, which I don't like. I kind of was hoping for a surprise.
Well, I mean, yes and no. Because I think they do sort of unravel it at a decent pace and sort of pulling back the layers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought it was all right.
Yeah.
Well,
what about
anything?
you, Joe? Are you watching any new shows? Or you being stressed from work? Apparently,
I've not watched anything. My brain has been so fried from work that I can't retain any information. So, what I have usually playing in the background is Island Hunters or House Hunters.
Oh,
yeah.
I do like House Hunters.
Yeah.
I told myself 10 years ago, I was like, I'm never going to be an HGTV person.
And there she is.
Now marathons of House Hunters.
I rewatched that a lot.
They're going to pick the second one. I know they are.
I
They said they wanted a turnkey.
I love trying to guess which house they pick. Owen and I, we watch it religiously. And it's just you don't have to think. It's just a fun show to watch.
It's a relaxing brain show.
Right, yeah. So, no, I've not watched anything. No, I've been frying my brain. Maybe this weekend we'll watch something. I don't know. Let's see. I'm excited.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully you have a little time
I will.
that you can relax more.
I know I will. Nikki, do you want to give us the good news of what to expect today?
Yes. We actually have our very first ever guest on the show today. For the skippers that don't like our bantering at the beginning of the show.
Well, first of all, fuck you. Why else
That's
are you
one.
here?
Second, you can fast forward a little bit. It's probably the last 20 to 25 minutes of the show. It's an actress that was casted in Roadhouse, which is actually the movie that we're discussing today. But her scene got cut out. So I'm really excited for us to talk to her about it and,
dive into that, yeah.
I know, see her intake from it, everything that happened there. And we have
Also
so
a
many
working
questions.
actor.
It's a working actor, yeah.
Yeah,
Because it's been a
just
while.
like us, just like us.
It's really exciting.
We're all working actors, you know. But I'm excited.
In my mind.
So we have a special episode today. Our first guest ever. Thank you, Nikki, for reaching out to her, and we can't wait to get
Really
to
exciting.
Paola. So as mentioned,
Paola.
it's Paula or Paola?
Paula.
Paula.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I saw an O in there. My mistake.
No, you probably said Paula in your head,
Yeah.
and in Spanish it's Paula.
All right. Well, I'm excited to meet Paula. Well, as Nikki mentioned, we're going to be discussing Roadhouse, the movie. Well, the remake, actually. Tracey, give us a little synopsis.
Sure. So, it is Dalton is a middleweight fighter who is going through bad times. A tragic encounter in the ring is traumatic for him and gives him suicidal thoughts. To make ends meet, he takes up the job of a bouncer at Roadhouse. However, things are not smooth for him since a local gangster boss wants to take over the property and keeps sending his goons to the Roadhouse to create problems. Dalton then fights them all with the help of his associates. Available to stream on Amazon Prime.
Ooh. Love that.
Jake Gyllenhaal, Daniela Melchor, and Conor McGregor, and many more.
Yes.
Thank you for that fabulous introduction, Tracy.
I mean,
all right.
that really sums up the movie.
Yeah, you did. I mean, that really
And
does sum
we're
up the
done.
movie.
Woo!
And we're done. Bye.
Okay,
Thank you
bye
for
guys.
joining us.
Talk to you later.
Wait, Tom.
That's it.
All right, let's get right into it. Go for it. Who wants to start?
Okay, so I'm gonna be 100% honest. I don't remember the original at all, but I have a feeling it has nothing to do with the original. I don't think it was an actual remake. It was just, for me, it was an okay movie, but it kind of like touched my heart a little bit because it was filmed back home. So in the Dominican Republic. So there were like
Did
a
you
lot of
recognize
parts.
anything?
Everything. I recognized everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I was like, oh my goodness, they're filming this whole thing in Guayacanes, which is like one of the beaches in DR. I can tell that there were some parts in Punta Cana, and I can also tell that there were some parts in the capital.
Wow, it really looked like the Keys. I mean, honestly,
They did a
the
great
Keys, so I don't
job,
know.
but Guayacanes, there's like parts Guayacanes that is like not beach, it's more like rocky and then the water. And I think if you think of like the Keys where all the small bars are, it looks a lot like it. A lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Insider, good to know.
I've never watched the remake. I've never even heard of it. But Tracy, have you seen the remake? I mean, sorry, not the remake.
The original, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. I've seen the original. It's not very good. It's kind of cheesy.
Isn't it with Patrick Swayze?
Yes, that's what I
it?
was just
Yeah.
gonna say. I mean, Patrick Swayze is really good in it. I do love him. Yeah, the only thing to me that ties into it is Patrick Swayze's character. His name was Dalton, and he ends up being a bouncer at like sort of like the same type of setup where it's like a bar with live bands.
Okay.
That's it. Like the premise, everything else, like where it takes place, they totally changed it in this. So yeah, again, I think it's a little bit of a stretch to say that it's a remake because it's like Patrick Swayze wasn't like an ex-UFC fighter or anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Was there, this is like a random question. Was it a remake or it was just the same name?
It has to be
I
a
don't-
remake because Dalton's name is the same. He also becomes a bouncer for the Roadhouse, so it's like I think it has.
But that's it.
Yeah, it has to be a remake that they just decided to just make all of these changes, I guess.
It's such a stretch, though. Like, why categorize it as a remake when you could easily change a name?
Yeah.
True.
And I mean, that's literally it. Because you could make a film where, yeah, an ex-UFC fighter needs to make some money and becomes a bouncer at a bar. Like,
yeah,
none of that was in the original.
True.
I don't know. What qualifies something as being a remake then? Because this seems very thin.
That is true. Because I was going to say, well, like the remake, how broad is that, standard? Can you say it's a remake completely, story, characters, or can you say we redid it in a different way?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I have never seen the original. I've never even heard of the movie until recently when it came out. And I just watched it. I have to say I hated the film. I said at the end of the film, I was like, I want my 2 hours back. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it's not a good movie.
It's not a good movie.
I hated it too.
I hated it. I will say this. Two things I will say I did like. I did like the I guess the
shirtless
special
moments.
Effects. Yes, that was gonna be my second one. I love looking at
Conor McGregor's butt.
Conor McGregor's butt and
he's got a
his
cute little
shirtless
tush.
body. And I also love looking at Jake Gyllenhaal topless. I'm like, give it to me.
I mean, give him credit where credit is due.
Right.
His body does look very good.
And I also like
insane.
I like the special effects. The fighting scenes looked real. You can tell that they used CGI.
Yes, you can definitely tell.
It was very obvious that there was a lot of CGI.
Yeah.
But the fights were entertaining. That's about it. Like, it literally just felt like I was just watching a fighting movie. I mean,
okay, so we all agree. We all agree that the movie kind of sucked.
It's
not kind of. It sucked.
It sucked.
I mean, I was just trying to be nice.
No, we're here to judge. We're here to judge. We got to be honest.
Now let's go over the performances because
nobody is a good actor.
I think Jake Gyllenhaal was funny. I'll say that.
I think he did great. But, for the role, I think he where else can you take that role?
It's an easy role.
Daniela, whatever her name was.
Doctor? Oh my God, terrible.
Wait, she was a doctor?
Yeah, Daniela Melchor.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I even forgot.
See, that's the thing too, because they met in the hospital in the beginning, and then that was like it. That was all of her being a doctor.
Taking him out on a date on a boat.
Yeah.
Yes. First, that
it was like night and day. Like, damn. Okay.
That journey of as a couple, awful. Number one. Second, I'm so sorry. Maybe it's
he left her at the end. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
What was the point?
Whatever that was. Yeah.
I would rather him have ended up with Frankie, the owner of Red House.
Yes.
Like, I thought something was going to happen between them when she showed up and she was like, "You've been stabbed. Can I help you?" I was like, "Love journey is beginning. Meet cute."
No. That was not the meet cute. The meet cute was later on.
Your stomach.
Yeah, and then
God.
Well, so the Daniela performer, girly, it was, I don't know, maybe because she's international, it was just so freaking bad.
It was bad.
I didn't believe a word she said. Again, I'm saying as a person that is from another country as well, there may be a language thing that doesn't help you, put as much intention as you would put in your own language. Mm-hmm. But it just fell flat for me the whole time. But I gotta say this. She is beautiful.
Beautiful.
Without a doubt. Gorgeous.
Wow, her eyes.
And she was kind of kicking ass a little
hair.
bit, which I thought was cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that's about it.
The acting.
Speaking of performances, you hit it on the money because You know, when the first time that we were introduced to the bikers that show up, and that guy, the main biker, walks in, and
Yeah.
I was like,
Right.
really? That's a biker? Like, talk about bad casting, you know? And second of all, I was like, huh? Like, he doesn't even sound like a biker, doesn't look like a biker. I'm like,
None of them did.
None of them did. I was like,
also, how many biker gangs are hanging out in the Florida Keys?
That you need to beat them all up
I was just
all
like,
the time.
What? And then it's like,
Why
there's
are
no way that this bar has just so many fights. Like, just because. And
I
there's
really
also-
didn't understand that.
so many questions that were left unanswered where they were like, oh, why is everyone so uptight here? Remember when he had that
Yeah.
question? We never got the answer. You know? We never got the answers to why he killed that guy during that fight.
Seriously.
Like, what happened there? I was just like, yeah. This movie needs to end.
That was a missed opportunity. Where
Yeah.
if they had talked about, like, shown clips of him earlier in the movie, like having these, like, PTSD moments of him, you know, beating this guy up in the ring and, like, killing him or whatever, then I could see a journey for his character. Like, that is why he doesn't want to get so mad about things, is that he loses control. Right? So it's like he is so funny and he has that humor to him so that he doesn't go to that dark place or whatever, because he's been there before and we know what happened.
God,
Right?
it's annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but it's like, you know, you kind of, I wish that they would have just added some depth to it. Like,
Oh, there was
obviously,
zero.
there's something going on here. I thought we were going to get like a full story. Because
Right.
when I started the movie, I saw that the movie was 2 hours long. I'm like, damn, 2 hours. I was like, okay, you know, normally a movie's like around 90 minutes, you know, 105 minutes, but 2 fucking hours?
I
Yeah,
still don't
that's
understand
long.
the plot.
Yeah, what was the plot? What was it all about?
He went, he fought some people, he left.
Yeah, and then he
Wait,
left.
but he didn't even, like, really fight, because he gets hired. He goes to the Florida Keys to this bar to be a bouncer. Why is it every time that a fight breaks out, he's sitting his ass at the bar?
Looking around.
And then that other scrawny ass kid, he's like, "You got this. Lift from the knees."
Like a coach. Like
yeah,
he's a
Do your
coach.
job. You're getting paid $5,000 a week
First
to
of
kick
all,
people's
that's
ass.
a lot of
Get
fucking
off the bar and go do it.
That's a lot of fucking money. I want to see
That's a lot of money.
What bar in the world is paying any
Is
bouncer
gonna pay
$5,000
that.
a week? Like,
You
Like-
also think of like the training that they went through. There was no training.
training for, like, you mean the characters or the actors?
No, the characters, the 2 little young boys.
Oh, yeah, the one that
from-
all
I
of a
know,
sudden...
and the way he recruited that other guy,
Right, all of a sudden they became, like, professional fighters at the bar.
they're
I
like the
was like,
scrawniest
Remember
dudes.
to lift from the
There
knees.
wasn't
I'm like,
even-
oh, God.
There wasn't even like a journey there either, that, you know, okay, let's just have them like they're gonna wake up early every day, you know, fight, like all the good. None of that happened. I
Perfect
was like,
opportunity for a montage. Like when he was exercising on the boat and doing chin-ups. Have it with those other guys. Like they're doing chin-ups and
You're
whatever,
training them to
and
be
they're
stronger.
yeah, let's
Yeah.
go. That's fun. None of that.
Also,
And it's also, yeah, go Joe.
I was going to say the gas station family, the father and daughter, like...
Oh, the bookstore?
How the bookstore, whatever that was.
With
It was
the
a gas-
money.
Wasn't it a gas station? It was a gas
They
station.
owned a
No.
bookstore.
Yeah, oh,
'cause-
It was like a little
I
plaza.
don't even know what it was. It's just like, what does this have to do with the plot? I thought that maybe there was a connection there. I was like,
Nothing. He gave them the money at the end.
and
Period.
Then, like, they got beat up. Why?
I know their poor bookstore got burned down.
I know the
like
poor
why?
girl and the father ended up being in the hospital, and all of a sudden they're fine. And Dios mío, what a waste of time.
Also,
Yeah, I don't know.
The storyline is just messy. They were broke, and they wanted to build a hotel. Was it?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, that does not sound familiar. You could tell me anything, and I'd be like, okay.
Like,
so where the bar was, they wanted to get rid of the bar. Mm-hmm. They couldn't buy her out for millions or something.
Oh, the goons.
Yeah,
that guy. What's his name? He's good looking. He's been on. He was in Into the Woods.
He was on like Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh, yes. Brandt. He's the son.
He was cute. Mm-hmm. He's actually, I thought, did an okay job.
He was very.
I think he's hilarious. Like as
he's
an actor,
really funny. So for him,
funny.
This was a little different because he was kind of psycho.
I know, but I'm sorry. In the scene where they're shaving him on the boat, I couldn't stop laughing.
He kind of scared me a little bit.
I was laughing because I think he's funny. So I was like,
he is,
in what fucking mind is this gonna work out?
I know.
You're getting shaved on a boat that is going sideways and up and down.
Mm-hmm. Right. I told you, loose wrists.
Yes.
I thought that he wasn't scary enough for me. I don't know. I just
Dalton?
No.
Jake Gyllenhaal. No. Oh, I thought he was like a little unpredictable. I think he could have pushed it more, for sure. Conor McGregor's character. Now, this is his debut, and I actually thought he did pretty well.
Wait, this is his first time ever?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He hasn't done... Oh, maybe he's just done, like, little cameos.
Maybe.
But not like an actual role.
Yeah.
But like what?
I think he did great. He was funny.
Okay,
he scared me.
What was his role in this? Like, okay, Daddy calls him up and says, "Hey, my son is fucking things up. Go and clean up house." It was just...
Also with that, like, what was the deal with the dad in jail? How was he in jail?
Yeah, how was he in jail?
What happened there? And like, why is his son so upset?
Right. And
like
also,
when his dad calls him and he's like throwing his phone in the ocean. Why?
Right. Why is he upset at his dad?
And with what money are you going to build a hotel?
Right.
Also,
and then he said something about collecting his debts, and he was like, "Of course, this boat's expensive."
Wait, you just said debts. Not have so much money when you have this yacht and you owned all of the everything there.
I don't understand. So yeah, it's like they own Glass Key, basically. Like they're in real estate and property. Is that what I'm supposed to understand? And the whole thing is they want Frankie's bar to build the hotel. That's what you're gonna say, Nikki, right? Like she's the last piece that they need to like really like build a resort and really make money. But then what was their whole deal with like drugs?
All right, we came out of this movie asking more questions than
so I think I think the drugs thing was like that could have been like a port. For the
I'm hoping that Paula has some answers for us because
please, the motives did not make sense. Because I could understand if it's like they needed Frankie's property to build the hotel as a cover for their drug operation. Maybe. Then I could get behind it, but I
thought that they wanted
access. Get that impression.
I thought that they wanted access to that where the bar is because it would be easier to import the drugs.
Yeah, like a port.
The port. That's what I understood when he was in the bookstore.
But also, like,
the computer.
You think about it, and it's.
She's at a loss of words.
Because
we're all speechless.
If you're creating this, if you're creating this crazy moment, you know, people are dying, you're beating people up, you're setting things on fire. There must be already, you know, drugs involved, you know.
Thank you.
You don't do that because I want to like build something, or like that's the last piece for like just find another place, period. Mm-hmm. You know, it just seemed the fighting and like the boat thing. I'm like, this is so dramatic for what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The
stakes weren't high enough.
Yeah, and then like I go back into like the scene with the little girl, like the library, the bookstore, whatever that was.
Yeah.
And I feel like we didn't see her dad until like the end. Like I was like, oh, she had a dad?
I think I saw him at one point in the beginning, and then we never see him again until the end. But again, why? Like, why are these characters even in this movie? What does this have to do with the plot, with the story? I thought, there's, I just had high hopes that I was like, something is gonna happen here, because I was disliking the movie already, but I was like trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. That I was like, no, just hang in there. Something's coming, and nothing came. Absolutely nothing. Gave me blue balls. Actually, blue balls. Painful.
Yeah.
There was a lot of eye rolling on my part, and a lot of like, sighing.
Balls, right. Blue balls, because I was looking at Jake Gyllenhaal's body, but then that's it.
I feel maybe this movie would have been better on mute. Just turn the sound off and just watch.
Yeah. I think they were more focused on like the fighting. I think it was just like a dick flick. That's what it was.
Yeah,
like
I think it was testosterone fuel.
Testosterone fuel for heterosexual men who just don't want to think and want a dick flick. They just want to watch. Who like fight.
The UFC MMA fighting.
Yeah.
Like if you're into that, you will love this movie.
Yeah, but.
And listen, I'm all about action. I like a fight, but some of it was a little violent.
But honestly, like some of talking about the fights, some of them, like it was great. I was like, oh, I'm game for the special effects, but I was also thinking some of them looked too fake.
Yeah, a lot of it.
What just happened?
Sorry for our listeners. We're on the Zoom call. There were like fireworks behind Nikki as she said that, and now there's confetti.
Oh man, I love these.
As I said, it was
just amazing commentary.
Fake.
That's why.
Amazing commentary. That's why you got to watch these videos.
Yeah.
Gosh, that was distracting.
Yeah.
Cool
well, yeah, like some of those like looked too fake. Like it was too the fights, like the punches and like the body moving so fast. I mean, it's great, wow, technology, but also I need to see it a little bit more real.
Whoever directed the film and who did the cinematography, they know how to record fights. Like that, they did a great job.
100%.
At recording fights, because I hate movies that don't know how to record fights. Like I love a good fight in a film, especially if it's like a bitch fight. Sorry, I love it. I love a cat fight.
Cat fight.
You're such a little bitch.
I'm such a bitch. Like Charlie's Angels, I love that. I love women that kick ass, and I love when they film those fight scenes, really well, because you can see what's happening. Like, versus, I don't know, you probably don't remember, but if you watch The Hunger Games, the first movie, there's a scene where Katniss is fighting, I don't know, one of the other players, and the fight scene is fucking terrible. You can't see a thing. All you see is, like, arms swinging around, and the camera's so zoomed up close, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know what's happening. Who's punching who?
Yeah.
But yes, I love the fight scenes. But yes, you can tell that a lot of CGI was used.
Yeah, some of them were a little fake. Also, what's up with living on the boat thingy and the boat dreams,
and not having a phone and not knowing how to use a computer? Like,
I was like, it's 2024.
I mean, did you see the car he was driving though?
Yeah, but it was like, I feel like they were trying.
I don't remember.
So hard.
Oh, it's just like an old piece of shit.
I feel like they were trying so hard to make his character be like, oh, this is such a unique guy. Like he's so different and strange, and it was just too over the top for me. Like he was trying to zoom in on the computer by touching the screen, and I'm like, oh,
that's what I'm saying.
Like,
it was just so like up and down. Like, why is he touching the screen to zoom in? But also, you're on a car that's so not modern, and obviously you don't have a fucking smartphone, because otherwise you would be looking at it on the smartphone what you're looking for. So it contradicted itself.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is like his character just wasn't developed very well. I think if we had known more about his past when he was a UFC fighter, I think that would have explained how he became who he became.
I think the whole
was he living a luxurious lifestyle? Like was he winning all these UFC fights, and he's used to having a really big house, and then this fight happened and it just totally took his career away, and now he has a crap car. He's showing up at these like underground fights with Post Malone, and Post Malone was saying, "Oh, I'm out. This guy's ripped. I'm done." First of all, when that, like, the first scene, when I saw Post Malone, like, in the fight, I was like, I'm out. I already know this movie's going to be garbage. Sorry to Post Malone, but I was like, I don't have high hopes.
No. Oh, my goodness.
I have a question for you guys. And maybe it's just, like, curiosity when it comes to that. So, obviously, as an actor like Jake Gyllenhaal, you read the script before saying yes to a movie. And your agent, before they give it to you, they go through it too. To be like, hey, you might be interested in this. Mm-hmm. But if you're an actor and you're reading these contradictions of your character, and let's say, I want to say he really needs the money to be like, oh yeah, I'll do it, and I won't even fight these things that make no fucking sense.
I was thinking the same thing, Nikki. I'm glad you brought that up, because Jake Gyllenhaal is an Oscar-nominated actor. You know, he's a well-respected...
And he's an amazing actor. I think he's amazing.
Well-respected actor. The man gets a lot of work, so I don't
That's the only movie that I think that he was very good in. Other than that, I would have to disagree with you guys. I actually don't think he's a very good actor.
Well, we'll get to that in a moment. But
sorry.
I disagree with you, Tracey. I think he's a good actor. I think he's well-respected.
That is fine.
And also, like, the man gets a lot of work, so I don't think it's a money... Because that question did pop into my mind. Is it a money issue that he just need a film? But I was like, I don't know.
Taylor Swift ruined him.
Also, we never know. Maybe it was Taylor Swift, but I think it was filmed. Was it? I don't know. Maybe. But anyway, getting back to like what my point is. Yeah, what the fuck, Jake Gyllenhaal? What the hell are you thinking? And I was thinking maybe he produced it, because sometimes, you know, actors get involved in producing, and I looked at the producers list and he wasn't there. So, yeah.
Do you think he wanted to go to the DR on a little vacation?
Maybe. He was like, maybe he needed an excuse to work on his body. He was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I needed an excuse to work on my body. Let me do a movie, get paid for it, and look sexy. I don't fucking know. But I was thinking the same thing. Like, what does it take for an actor of that, you know, on that level?
Caliber,
thank you, to do that. But Tracey thinks he's a bad actor, so...
Sorry. Maybe it was a challenge for him. I mean, this isn't a role that we've ever seen him. You know, like,
I guess.
Kicking ass and taking names, you know, so...
Really? What about Jarhead?
No, I think that's different.
Okay.
Like, military versus just, like, this.
There's that other movie.
So you think he's a
that
bad
he...
I don't think he's as good as most people think that he is.
Okay. There's another
Nightcrawler
movie that is...
was amazing. He was really good in that. Mm-hmm. But other than that, meh.
He was nominated for that one.
Yes,
but there's
as
another
deserved.
Movie that he did. I think it's called Brothers or Brother.
With
or something
Tobey
like
Maguire.
That with Tobey Maguire. I think he did a great job.
I mean,
I think
Brokeback
Natalie
Mountain.
Portman is in it too. Brokeback.
Listen, he's
T-Bonesky.
in good movies. I'm not denying. People love Donnie Darko. That's like a cult classic.
I hate that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's true. It's a cult classic. People love it.
People love it.
But for me personally, I don't think he lives up to the hype that people give to him. I just think there are way better actors in Hollywood that I would rather spend my time watching their films.
Oh, for sure. There are actors that are better than him, but I was just thinking that I think he's too talented for this type of film.
You mean he's an A-lister? He's not. And I will give him. He is an A-lister. 100%. Yeah. I don't think he is. C.
No, absolutely.
He's
not.
really up there, and I wonder. I definitely didn't watch an interview or anything because I'm sure he must say why he chose to do this movie and what attracted him from the character. If it wasn't, I haven't seen Jake Gyllenhaal in something in a while.
Maybe because Taylor Swift.
If I'm not mistaken.
That's what I said.
No, I don't think so. That was 15 years ago that they dated. So
no, but when Taylor's version came out and people
the 10-minute version,
yeah. No,
I
I'm
don't
kidding,
think. But I'm like I haven't seen him in something in a while. This was like maybe this is a money thing or
he was busy getting ripped for this film. That's why it probably took him a while.
Amazing.
Listen, I will give him
really
that.
good.
He looks shredded. He looks great.
He looks great. But
I was like, I kind of like this movie.
Turn it on mute. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Be like,
it was like
Trey, honey, leave the room.
Put
it's
it on
fine.
Jake Gyllenhaal's scenes and just press pause. That's it.
I think Trey said, he's like, do you want me to leave you alone here?
Yes, please.
You need a moment. Woo.
Yeah. I mean, it was great to look at.
He did, yeah.
And I want to say Conor McGregor did a really good job at playing psychopath.
Really good.
Because,
yeah,
I don't think he was like, playing something like crazy difficult.
Because that's how he probably is in the ring anyway. Like, he has to be intimidating and crazy. So I don't think it was a stretch for him.
I think it was playing himself.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
in
still,
his
I thought he
moments,
did okay.
he did. I think he did a great job for a person that has never done this before.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, that tush, not bad to look at.
No, nice to look at.
I think it's hilarious the way he walked.
Yeah, I was like, what is he doing? That was an interesting choice.
I couldn't stop laughing.
Knees out. And
he was probably doing that to make his ass
like,
look like, bigger or
better.
something.
I have no idea.
I liked it. I was like, ooh, look at that bottom.
I also have to say, I'm surprised because I kind of like looked up some of the actors and the little girl from the bookstore, she's not from, like, there were a lot of people that were like brought to the DR to film this. And I was kind of speechless because lately they've been doing a lot of like films back home because it's cheaper. Like the JLo movie, not the one that we reviewed, but the one with Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh.
They filmed it back home too, and most of the actors were from DR.
Well, yeah,
because it's also easier. They're already there. You cast people from there. And I was looking it up, and I was like, there's, like, none of them are, I don't know most of them. And it's not, it's not to say that I should know all of them, but I looked them up, and they were not from back home, which I found super weird.
It would have been nice to, hire more people, the local actors, and from Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
Maybe they were, maybe it could be that they originally were not going to record there, and then something happened budget-wise, and they changed gears and changed location.
Well, it is technically supposed to take place in the Florida Keys, so they wanted to keep it whitewashed.
Oh, that is
unfortunately true. Although there's a lot of black people in it, which
but there's also a lot of white Dominicans in the Dominican Republic.
Oh yeah, like I don't even think the casting of it had like it didn't come to like anything racial, quote unquote, but I do think about the fact that a lot of them I was like, well, these are a lot of actors brought in, including the Daniela whatever her last name is, the Portuguese actress. I was like, why was she brought in? You could have casted someone from
for sure.
DR that would have done a way better job, because I'm so sorry, she was definitely not good.
No.
It's just like I didn't believe her, and I want to give her the benefit of the doubt. I want to say, you know what? Maybe if it was in Portuguese, she would have delivered her role a little bit better. But I don't know. It was just
right.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could have just done without her character, period.
I mean, a lot of
there were too many storylines.
Like, and there wasn't even really a love story there. Like, at the end, he literally just gets on a bus and leaves. So it's not like they're, like, he says, actually, I'm going to stay. You know, like, I actually I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing, and I'm making friends, and none of that.
Yeah, it's like he went there, did a thing, bye. That's the movie.
Yeah.
Like, there was no, like, oh, like, we know where his journey is going.
Exactly. Because that's okay if it's like he comes in and then leaves, but at the end when he's leaving, I want to see some sort of change in his character, whether it's good or bad. And it was flat.
Right.
So, like, what's the point? Because at the beginning, the girl at the bookstore tells him, oh, you're like a Western. You're this cowboy coming into this town, and you're going to be a hero.
Yeah.
So what she said at the beginning is basically what plays through to the end. So it's like you just told us
what's gonna come. Ish.
But I feel like we already knew that. We already knew that he wasn't going to be a bad guy. Yeah. So what was the point of that too?
Right.
No, it just didn't make any sense.
I think we like low-key trashed this movie a lot already.
Yeah, sorry to shit on it, but ugh.
It wasn't as good as we thought it was gonna be. We had high hopes, but you know, it is what it is. And now I'm gonna introduce someone that was supposed to be in the movie. We have a guest today, and we're really excited. I'm gonna talk a little bit about her before we have her speak. So we have Paula Ferry here. Paula Ferry, I'm gonna tell you guys first. Let's give a round of applause first. Hey! So that's like number one thing. Second, I know her since she was tiny because she is one of my little sister's best friends. So you guys don't want to know how old we are compared to her. She's really young. She's fresh.
Oh God, don't tell me.
I know.
I already feel old.
So Paula has appeared in over 13 musicals productions, including Beauty and the Beast. I remember that. She was little. She was the baby teacup.
Oh, Chip.
Oh, just a tiny. She was Chip. She's been in Peter Pan. She was in Annie. She was in Legally Blonde. On the screen, she has been on Código de Paz, María Montes, and she actually played María Montes young. She was also featured in Primero de Enero, Cómplices, El Hombre que Cuida, La Vida de los Reyes, Vienna the Boy, and Courage. Internationally, for all the international people that we have listening to this, she was recognized for her roles in Televisa, Por Amar Sin Ley, which is Televisa's production company from Mexico. And she was also in Nickelodeon's Are You Afraid of the Dark in 2022. Her role in it was Jody Carroll. She has also been the lead in one of Juan Luis Guerra's music videos, Sus Besos. She received acclaim, winning the Association of Arts Critics Best Actress of the Year for Código de Paz and she earned Leslie Award nominations for that role as well. She trained at the New York Film Academy and the New School of Drama. She's worked with renowned mentors like Maria Castillo and Frank Peroso, and Ferry has also contributed to series production including New Amsterdam from NBC, Little Boys from Apple TV, and The Politician Netflix. Let's give a round of applause to Paula Ferry.
Yes. What haven't you done?
Well, this is the part. This is the part where I say I'm only 25.
Okay, bye.
You know when you're in the work, so you don't realize how much you've done. So now that you hear it,
it's so
I'm
awkward.
sure you're like, I've done so fucking much.
That's a huge and impressive resume. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's actually really awkward when I hear people like saying all this stuff, because it's like seeing my childhood and then my teenage years and then like college situation, and it helps as an actor to hear all of this, because it makes you feel very proud of the work and the time that you put in the work. So thank you for reminding me.
We are so proud of you. I just read it and I had put it together and I was like, she has done so much. And also at your age, we had just graduated school, the three of us, and obviously opportunities weren't the same 15 years ago, but we hadn't done as much as you did. So kudos to you. We are extremely proud and we're so happy to have you here.
Thank you. It's so funny that we're talking about this movie.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I was like, you know what? We're going to talk. Let's do Roadhouse. It was filmed back home. And then I was like, let me just have someone from back home as a guest. And then you told me that you had actually been in it, and basically your scene, I want to say your scene got cut out. But before
I got cut out of the movie.
Oh my goodness.
That seems like a huge mistake.
Right. That probably would have made the film a lot better.
Honestly, once I saw it, I was like, it was funny because like at the beginning of the pre-production part, I casted for 5 different roles. I casted for Laura, which I think is the girl at the bar, the blonde girl at the bar. So I auditioned for that for like 4 times. And I auditioned for the lead girl, because they originally they cast, like they were casting in DR and internationally, and I casted with both of my agencies, like in the US and in DR for that role, and I didn't get any. And like I met with production and everything, and they were like, not this time. And I'm like, it's okay, thank you for the opportunity, whatever. And then they called me again and they were, well, we do have one scene because we do want you in the production. Like, we loved you. We loved all your tapes. We had amazing chemistry with you. We want you to be part of the film. And I read the scene, and, you know, as an actor, you're like, there's some scenes that you read and you know, like, this is gonna be cut out. It's like, you know. And I was like, you know what? I'll do it.
Bonus feature.
Yeah, like, this is gonna be fun. And it was such a fun scene too, which is a shame that it got cut out, because it's probably one of the hardest scenes I've ever been on. It's the Knox introduction scene where he's in Italy and he's like blown away by fire in this place and whatever. And I'm like surrounded by fire, and I like look at him and I'm like, my name, by the way, was Hot Italian Girl.
Hey, you can play Italian for sure.
I had one line, actually. I'm not gonna lie. The whole thing was like, he was coming out of the flames and he looks at me and he grabs me like a sack of potatoes and he's like, how you doing? And I say, ciao. And then he like he walking. That was the scene.
I can't believe that got cut.
I know. I would have loved to see that.
That would have been great, actually.
I waited for credits. I'm like, maybe it's in the credits. Like, I have hope.
Right. I'm hoping to the deleted scenes.
I can't believe they cut
they have to pull it out. It was so funny though. It was such a fun scene to shoot, because McGregor is really funny. He's a really funny guy. And he was like, it was like watching a kid doing his first film. He was so excited. And, you know, when I see the movie, like, he seemed like such a tough guy, but he was really funny and he was really excited. He was taking pictures of everything and everyone. And he was probably one of the nicest actors I've ever encountered. He came up to me and he was like, "Oh, you're the," like, they introduced us and he was like, "Nice meeting you. Oh my God, you look so cute. Like, are you comfortable? Do you need some water?" And I was like, "Wait, you're the star here. Like, we don't even have to be like speaking at this point." But he was really nice and he really enjoyed the process. And I felt a little bad when I saw the movie because I was like, "Oh my God, he was having such a great time during that scene that it's so bad they cut out that moment because he felt so powerful too." He's like, "I can carry her." I'm like, "Yes, everyone can. I'm very tiny."
Wow. That's so interesting because we actually have a few questions, especially like from set and, you know, and a lot of feelings, you know, about this movie. We just realized we have many feelings because for the past 30 minutes, we've talked really passionately about how, you know, just to keep it kind, you know, how it could have been way better because there was a lot of like, you know, storylines that didn't need to happen or were never completed. And, you know, and again, I am one of those people that is like, if you're gonna film on location, I would love for you to use local talent. And I kept going over like the cast and I was like, I'm a Dominican person and I know what the talent is back home and I don't know any of these people. And I could see that most of them, maybe probably the extras, were the only local talent that they had in the movie. Can you tell us how was the, before you go into it, how was the audition process? Because you said you auditioned 4 times, but it was like 4 callbacks.
Yes, I had 4 callbacks. So at the beginning, it usually what happens when you film in DR and international movies, they do have to audition locals by the law. If you're gonna film here, there's a percentage of local talent that you have to use. But every production decides how to establish that percentage. Either they use it for one-liners or like background actors, or there has to be a 70% of the crew members that has to be Dominican. And I think the law says like 50% talent. I think that's changing. I think that's changing. I think they're putting more Dominican talent, but they have to use locals for background. Like you cannot travel background. Usually standings, most of the crew, they have to be local. So when they put out the auditions, I remember everyone got the same sides as usual. And we all got Laura, right? I even thought that the little kid, I thought she was Dominican at the beginning, and then I realized she was American. But
she's I looked it up too.
Yeah, she looked very Dominican. We all auditioned for Laura, and that was actually a really big disappointment because I thought that character could have been played by a local. She was just like the girl in the bar.
Yeah,
and like
100%.
the girl in the bar, like why would you bring someone from the outside? But I guess that was their choice. And then I auditioned for the lead because of my audition for Laura, because they were looking for someone to look Hispanic for that specific role. And they ended up going with this Brazilian girl. And I think, you know, when you leads, it's very hard to get. I think in DR, the only person that has like a lead character in an international movie is Hector Aníbal during Lost City.
Yeah.
I think he's the only one who's had that opportunity. That doesn't usually happen unless like what happened to me, Nickelodeon, the actress got sick. Like she had COVID a week before they start shooting. So they had to look for someone locally because they couldn't bring anyone else. So I had that opportunity. But it's really,
oh my God, what a blessing.
I know.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Sorry, she got COVID, but
Yeah, she's okay though. She survived. She's fine.
That's good.
I have a question for you. So how long were you filming? Like how long did it take to film that one scene that got cut?
An overnight. It was an overnight.
Oh, okay.
It was a really long night. Because
was it filmed in Zona Colonial?
No, it was filmed in Altos de Chabón, in La Romana.
Okay.
So this is why that scene for me was so it was just brilliant, because I've never worked in a production where they closed the entire, that's a big location. That's like a zone inside of a resort.
Okay.
Explain it in a way. And that's it's a historical place. So it's really hard for you to close. Like you can close the church or you can, but not the whole space. They had every single fire truck from the entire city in this moment because they set fire in the whole place, which is very dangerous. This place is covered by trees and it's a very historical place. So everyone was worried. We only had 2 takes to make this happen.
Oh wow!
Oh my
God! It was
God!
impressive because I didn't know how they were gonna like put the fire out and back.
Yeah.
It was real fire. Like they used real stuff, and it was a Steadicam scene. So it was very a continuous, like a continuous shot. They never cut. So we rehearsed like not kidding 15 times.
Right, because you had to get it perfect for those 2 takes. Oh my God,
it was
pressure.
a full overnight. Like it was a full overnight. My call time was like 1:30 a.m. And we left like around 6:30, 7:30 a.m.
And it got cut out of the film, but I mean, you don't know that it gets cut out until you watch the film, right? Like, how did that work? Okay.
No, you never know. It's funny because like as an actor, you're always like, did I ever make it? I had a joke through the entire show. I was like, if I made it, can someone please tell me? Like, I don't want to watch it unless I made it. And I kept watching it because I wanted to see how the island and like how the country looked.
Yeah.
I try to see everything that they shoot in DR because it's really interesting how every project has his own version of DR. You never know. There's movies that I've seen. I'm like, I think that's here. I'm not sure. This is supposed to take place in Key West, Florida. I was like, Florida should be proud because that ocean is not blue in Florida.
Right.
That's definitely Dominican Republic.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go with my questions. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Paula.
No, you're fine.
Tracey, you want to ask her some questions?
Yeah. Did you get to meet any of the other actors besides Connor? Like, did you get to meet Jake Gyllenhaal or anything?
Yes, I got to meet him.
Was he as hot in person?
He's gorgeous. He's a gorgeous man. God bless him. I actually
so then it was worth it.
I mean, yeah, I did it because of that. I wanted to see him. I needed to know if he was real.
That's fair.
I saw him 3 years ago when he did Southpaw, and he was filming in New York. They did a Q&A, and I got invited, and I went to see the Q&A, and I got to see 2 versions of him. So I got to see him during press tour, and then I got to see him on set. I think with this project, I personally, as an actor, was very like concerned with him because he was like so skinny. He looked amazing on screen, but he was so skinny, and he worked really hard. Yes, he was like on diet 24/7. That man has no fat in that body whatsoever. Like he was ripped. He was working out. Like I remember that day he was off and he went to set just to see how everything was going, like what's happening. Like he was very on top of his production.
Interesting. This is like a random question. What do you think made him choose that role? Because we were just talking about it and we were trying to figure out the reasons. You know, there's a lot of contradictions on his role throughout the movie, and we were just trying to figure out, because you know sometimes you might be in an economical position that you're like, you know, I need money, you know, but he's an A-lister actor, so the movie it's not a remake. We don't want to call it a remake because
remake.
it's definitely not what the Roadhouse was before, but it's also not good. It's not a good movie. There was a lot of, bad actors in it. I think like most of them did what they could do with the role that they were given to. Because some of the lines, saying, this is kind of cheesy, we love the shirtless moments, we
We're here
love
for
those.
that.
I love a workout montage.
I love a
We
workout
love
montage.
that. But we're like, what do you think as a person that has, met him, I want to say twice for like a brief moment?
Oh God.
Do you think there was like a deeper purpose on him like choosing this role for this movie?
I am like speechless. I have no idea what to say. Like, what's the right thing to say about this?
Oh, it's fine. We're here to judge.
Script has its issues. I'm just gonna say that the script has its issues.
Yeah.
It was not the best cast. I think it comes to a point as actors, like when you're an A-lister, I think, that you have projects for money, you have projects for your personal growth as an actor, and you have projects because of compromise. So I think there's three types of like films or projects that you do in life. Because I personally know when I'm working, I'm like, it's for the money, like you need it. And then there's other projects that you like, if you do this, your face is gonna be everywhere, so you're gonna gain something out of this that it's not like acting growth, but it is personality growth or image growth or something like that. I think for him in this project, it was about the hype of the movie. We all went out to see it. The second they said they were gonna remake this movie, everyone was like, what? Because it was such an iconic movie back in the day. And I think remakes right now are such in a hype. Like we have no new ideas. Everyone is just remaking stuff.
That is true.
Like, every time I see a remake, I'm like, let's just bring back the 2000s and the 90s. And
yeah.
Like we have no new ideas. It's just the same. So I think that's mainly the reason why I personally would have done it. Like if they call me right now and they're like, we're remaking The Notebook, I'm like, hell yes, I'm in. Or like they call me and they're saying, we're gonna do a whole Latino cast of Romeo and Juliet, I'm like, hell yeah. Because it's like the hype of a project. It's like a formula. It worked 20 years ago. Why would it not work now? The thing is, we don't realize that time has changed and people have I think people have more expectations of the product they consume more.
Oh, like 100%.
Movies and in TV shows and in general, like you see some crappy shows that you're like, yeah, I'll put it in the background while I fall asleep, but the shows are getting nominated and have their own clientele. You're like, this is well thought and they spend years doing research for this. So yeah, I think that's why I would personally would have done it.
Well, that's
better, but
it actually does give me, like kind of resolution in my head because I was like, again, the cinematography was beautiful. The photography of this movie, I mean, it was back home. Are you kidding me? It cannot get more beautiful than that. And
I personally did a review about it, which I was very concerned about doing because I was like, I don't want people to think that because I'm not in the movie, I'm gonna trash talk it. But I personally said that I was like, the art department deserves an award. Like makeup, stunts, they were great. It was just, it got a little ridiculous. Like I understand why they used the actors that they use. I know they were big names and whatever, but it's like I was watching cartoons at some point. And it was like the punches. Like you can make this real life. You don't have it, and the story got loopy. And like the only two people that made sense there was the little kid and the father. Everyone else was like, what are you doing here? Like we don't get it. But I think they could have done a better job.
It's more the problem here was more the script. It was storyline all over the places, many characters that didn't need to be there. I'm kind of upset that there was no local talent, and probably there was, the background work, but yeah,
But
it
like
was
not
kind of
even like
disappointing.
Lucas Cage came in for this probably 2 scenes where he gets beat up, and it's like I have 5 actors in my head that could have done that.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think they should have used more local talent. They did use, and I have to give them this, every single Dominican location possible. They shot everywhere in the island. Like,
Yeah.
and I remember like when you were driving around, they spent months here, by the way, and I would like drive to the beach, and it was the like roadhouse in the way, and you would see like, oh my God, they're using like our like locations to the best they can. They had money for sure.
Wow. I love that you're giving us all of that input
All the tea.
about it.
Insight,
All
yeah.
the tea.
Which show you want to do next? I have a couple.
We're always here for
Well,
recommendations.
yeah, we'll also we'll anything that has been filmed in the DR will probably reach out to you so you can like hop on. We have one more question, and then we're gonna have you stay in for the fun facts because you might not know some of them, and that's my favorite part of the podcast always.
I don't know. You probably know more than all of us. So
I know. Well, let's see.
We'll see. She'll be our fact check.
That's great.
So now, two questions I have. What is your next project as an actor right now? Or what advice would you give any young actors out there trying to get work?
Well, my next projects are I'm doing plays. I'm back in theater. I wanted to take this first 6 months of the year to like go back to my roots. And when you do theater, I love doing theater because it's like going back to school and like going back to the books and doing the research and everything. Sometimes films, you get them so quickly that you don't have time to like actually create a character from scratch. So going back to theater is helping me a lot to like reconnect with my actor roots. And advice, man, I just came from like giving a theater class to 14 and 15 years old. But I would definitely say try to see as much as you can, like watch every single movie, like and like really watch and not entertain yourself, like just ask questions, Google the interviews, like do the research, and then go and study that. Like when I first started it, there was no schools for teenagers or kids. Like I had no schools when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I had to actually write to every single teacher I wanted to work with and explain them why I was the right person to get into that class being a minor. Like I was very ahead of myself with that. I remember like talking to them and saying like, listen, I know I'm 13, but I really want to learn. Like I watched this movie and this movie and this movie. I want to learn how to do this, this, and that. And I think you're the right person to teach me this. And they were impressed by that because when you're willing to go the extra mile, people are going to listen to you. I think when you're young, people want the easy way out and the quick way out, and it's not the best way. Sometimes you need to slow down and actually do the work and learn to be a good person and a good professional in order for things to come your way.
That's great.
That would be my
good for you.
Wow, can you be my teacher?
That's definitely not what we did.
No. We wanted
oh man, sometimes I think about it. I'm like, can you take me 15 years ago so we can all go back to school with the mindset that I have right now? But I say this a lot, but also when we went to school, the access to the things that we have right now did not exist. Like we went to school, the three of us went to school for musical theater. If I wanted to learn a new song, I had to create an appointment with a tape recorder because the iPhone thing wasn't a thing yet. With a tape recorder, and it was 30 minutes, and you're like, okay, record the whole song first. Now record my harmony, record my part, and then you will go home. And then to get the sheet music, it God forbid it wasn't in the library, because then you will have to go to Times Square, to this like music store, to everything was so complicated. And that was so recent, you know. It wasn't that long ago either. Now you have Spotify, you have like there's a lot of platforms now accessible. So to all the listeners that are out there, if you're an actor and you're young and you're in school, really, really take in what Paula just said, because the access that you have right now, most actors before did not have at all, you know. And sometimes, like, I think about it, I'm like, I wish. There's a lot of wishing, obviously, and but I wish I would have, you know, done this. But I was like, wait, hold on, like, calm down, don't be so hard on yourself. You know, there was a lot of things you didn't have access to, and it was a little bit more complicated. There was typecasting too all the time. You know, there was Caucasian roles, Caucasian roles, and I can get cast as an African American, but I also cannot get cast as a Caucasian person. And then now it's like they're opening like, oh, we want all the Hispanics, you know, because now there's like this like streaming coming on, and it's like, but that's happening now. So if you are out there, please be a good student, absorb it all, and put it out there, because we didn't have that chance. And obviously I'm just not in the mood to audition anymore.
I would add to that, like, there's so many, taking advantage of the platforms and things like that. There's so many actors podcasts that people should listen to, because the real, like, the professional, the A-listers, they all have podcasts because they needed space to talk about the things that they couldn't talk about 10 years ago, and the struggles that we had. And they give you so many tools that I don't live in the US anymore. So once I move out, I was like, I don't have a library to go to. I don't have actors clubs to go to. I don't have people to talk about it, about the struggles and the things that we go like day to day. And this podcast helped me a lot to just get out of my regular day life and listen to people struggle with my same struggles, and give me the tools. And maybe sometimes you're like reading a script and you're like blocked with some character, and I go to this podcast and randomly they're like talking about the same thing, so that we help.
You can shout it out. You can say what podcast it is.
Oh, I'm gonna send you a list. I have a whole playlist. But there's one. Actors Access has one, and Playbill has another one, and it's called Actors and Actors, and it's a podcast on Spotify. Check it out. They give they give a lot of tips.
We will definitely do that.
Sending you that list tomorrow, promise.
You. You got the hookups, you know it's up.
Well, those were amazing words of advice, and we love it. Now we're gonna hear fun facts about the movie, and Paula's gonna tell us if they're wrong or right.
I know, please.
Take us away, Tracey.
So, the restaurant next to Stephen's bookstore is called the Double Deuce Restaurant, which was the name of the bar in the original 1989 film. So a little shout out.
I didn't know.
Okay.
Well, that's a nice fact.
Yay, I love this. And you say, I didn't know that. That makes me feel so good.
She's like, I got it right.
I know. There's one.
That was shot in the middle. That's an empty space actually in the island. They actually built that from scratch.
Oh wow.
Wow.
That whole set was like, it's actually a deserted beach, like an empty space that Pinewood Studios purchased, and they're building a new set location there. because it's right near the water, and they built that from scratch. It's still there, by the way. They haven't taken it. They only took Roadhouse. Everything else stay there.
Interesting.
Wow.
Oh,
That's a fun fact for you people.
that is a fun
Yes.
fact.
We love that.
If you want to give some fun facts too, please.
Let's go.
Jake Gyllenhaal underwent extensive training, obviously. So his trainer is Jason Walsh, who is the owner of Rise Nation, and his first client was actually Jessica Biel, and he's also worked with Brie Larson, Matt Damon, and Bradley Cooper.
Okay.
So his regimen included, it was multi-level. He was focusing on strength, conditioning, and nutrition. Obviously, I mean, how else would you get that body?
Yeah, the kid starved. The kid actually starved. Not kidding.
Yeah. He has no, it looks like he has no fat, like you said.
He has no fat. I was like, my first question for him, like, I was like, of course I didn't do this, by the way, but I wanted to. I was like, can I just like poke it? Like, I wanted to see because it was like insane. He had like just no body fat and just like abs.
Oh, the squares.
Should have just been like, can it just one punch?
Or like
right to the
punch
abs.
it.
Just touch it. Just touch.
Let me wash my
I
clothes
lick it?
Yeah. What's next?
All right. The only shot that was in the Florida Keys is of Fred the Tree. So that does exist. So it's actually an Australian pine, which is not local to the area. And that tree took root in an old abandoned bridge where it lacks soil and is exposed to sun, salt water, and winds. After Hurricane Irma in 2017, locals were surprised to find it alive, and they even dress it up for the holidays.
Aww.
Oh, that's cute.
I think that's hilarious.
That is really funny.
Like, we're gonna dress up the tree.
Right, we're gonna dress
Put a
up
little
the tree.
skirt on
Drink
that
some
tree.
light. Oh, nice.
Love that.
So we were talking about this before. So every fight did use full CG body doubles due to production using a new multi-level pass method to do seamless punches and kicks instead of faking hits or cutting around the action to be believable. In every fight, the doubles are stitched into the edit for a few frames before stitching back to real footage.
Oh man, it
Wow.
looks so
Wow.
fake.
It looks, it's so obvious, you can tell.
Yeah, you can tell. They look fake as fuck. Can you curse in this?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm like a
Please.
sailor.
That's what we do.
You're totally fine.
You're fine.
Drop all the
they look
F-bombs you
fake.
want.
Although, what's his name? McGregor did most of his stunts.
I would believe
I
that.
believe that.
I mean, he's the real professional out of all of us.
Yeah, and he had like 5 different trainers. I'm not kidding. He had like every time he went to set, he had 5 different people with him. A trainer, a personal assistant, a nutritionist, and like it was someone who was in charge of his shakes, of like what he eats on a day. Like I've never seen someone walk on a set with so many people surround him.
His own little entourage.
Yeah. No, he had
money,
like
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the kid is disciplined. The kid was like, he's like, he needs to stop because he needs to eat. Like, I was like, okay,
Oh, God.
stop reversing because he needs to eat.
You're like, oh, chow.
Insane.
I'm like, how dare you? How dare you rehearse when he
Right.
needs to eat?
Oof. During filming, Jake Gyllenhaal contracted a staph infection after he cut his hand on breakaway glass.
It
That's
is
bad.
true. It is true, but it's just
That
really
is-
funny.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, that sounds
He got
awful.
I didn't know how he got infected, but he got sick during the production.
Woof. Do you know how long?
Well,
for?
good thing you can get antibiotics back home without a
thank
prescription.
goodness.
Also, it's like I thought it was something he ate because DR, right? They're not used
Yeah.
to our food.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
It's intense.
Pobrecito.
Development began in 2013.
The what?
Development
that
for this
movie?
film began in 2013.
It took
know.
that long?
That's 11 years.
I know.
It's not Avatar. It's like
I know.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I
And this is what they
wonder-
came up with?
I know. I know. I think that's
this
what
is
also
the
makes
best they could do in 11 years.
I think that's also what makes it like kind of disappointing, that it's like you've been writing the script and coming up with all of this. It's taken you so long, and this is the final product.
I want to believe it took 11 years because of the schedule of the cast. Like, I don't want to believe it took 11 years to make this.
No way. Yeah.
I also feel like so many people go through this script and nobody said nothing. Nobody said like, hey, this ain't looking too good right now. We gotta fix a bunch of stuff here.
Yeah.
Just a little. Let's cut all these characters out. Let's have an actual storyline on our leading guy. You know, let's have a little resolution at the end for him too.
Let's have an arc. Let him start in a way and end in a different way.
Just any of those things, please.
None of that. You know, it was all about them boat nightmares.
Boat nightmares.
Oh my God, that was expensive. Every time I see that movie, I'm like, money.
Yeah, money.
Yeah.
They threw a boat in the middle of a set. I'm like, that's a lot of money. We're talking about millions of dollars. Like, insane.
Crazy.
It's cheaper. Like, it's definitely cheaper for them to film.
For them, yeah.
But again, they built the sets from scratch, and they shot in the infinity pool, like most of the stuff. So it's like a lot of work and a lot of money.
That's insane.
Boggles my mind. So Ronda Rousey, do you know who she is, right?
No, I don't know.
She's like a female UFC fighter, like MMA fighter.
Oh, yes.
So she was actually originally set to be in a gender swapped remake.
Oh.
Which actually I would have loved to see that.
I would have liked to see that.
That would have been way more interesting.
Right?
But like the whole movie just made a leading her.
I don't know if it would have been like the same exact setup, or if they would have just taken that idea of like her, like a female lead who just like kicking ass.
Even if she played Connor, that would have been great too.
That would have been great. That would have been fun.
That's true.
That would have been badass.
I love to see women kick ass.
Now that's a remake. That's a remake.
Exactly. I think that would have been good. So the original screenwriter for the 1989 Roadhouse, his name is R. Lance Hill. He filed a petition in court to have the film's copyright referred to him when United Artists' claim expired in November of 2023. However, he sued Amazon and MGM for allegedly rushing the remake into production to avoid the expiration deadline, even going so far as to AI replicate the actors' voices during the SAG-AFTRA strike, which violates the provision agreed upon by the guild and studios.
I believe this. I can see this happening.
Yo, the tea is hot.
Well, if you like that, I think this one's good. Okay. So the film was made for a theatrical release in mind. However, MGM and Amazon got cold feet and felt the film would be unfairly compared to the original, resulting in poor box office take. The theatrical release was therefore canceled and the movie sent straight to streaming. This upset director Doug Liman, who felt shortchanged, especially after learning that the company did the opposite with the movie Beekeeper, which was this year was made with Jason Statham. And that movie defied expectations and became an unexpected hit. Out of protest, Lyman boycotted his own film's premiere at South by Southwest.
Oh my gosh.
Damn, there was a lot of drama. I mean, there was a lot of drama on set, but this is a lot. Like, now I understand all the drama that was happening on set.
Oh, what drama on set?
I'll tell you after we wrap this.
She got the tea that nobody else
we love the tea.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. That was
I do have another. I have a fun fact.
Let's hear it.
Because a lot of people ask me this during the scene where he, like the beginning scene where he gets introduced in the UFC fight. Everyone's like, how did they shot that? Is that like AI? How they replicated all these people? They actually shot in the actual fight. It was a McGregor fight, and before they started the fight, they put up a sign saying they were filming for Roadhouse, and they introduced Jake Gyllenhaal as his character, and they shot all of that as like was a real fight and everything. So it was not CGI. It actually happened. They paused on the fight to film this, and then McGregor went to fight. That's
interesting.
That's kind of cool.
I love hearing a fun fact that I don't know about.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah,
I love that.
Thank you.
Was that done?
Was that
obviously
done?
in the U.S., but what
that was
part?
in Vegas. That was in Vegas.
Vegas.
After they shot here, it was months when they were done after, like in DR.
Oh,
okay. Giovanni, you were gonna say something?
No, I was gonna say, where can our listeners like find you? Do you have Instagram,
TikTok,
Twitter, anything? Yeah, TikTok.
Give it all.
I have Instagram. That's I'm a millennial, so Instagram is always. I'm not in TikTok yet, but you can find me as my name, Paula Ferry, Paula, and Ferry like the boat, Ferry. And hopefully soon in your nearest cinema or streaming service.
For
But you
sure.
can definitely catch Are You Afraid of the Dark in Paramount Plus. Check it out.
I want to watch that because I love the original, so I'm gonna look out for that one.
That was really fun to shoot that. That was probably one of the best experience. It was my first time going to LA with this project, and cool. I was blessed of being part of this. Hopefully I get to work with Nickelodeon more often. It was really fun.
Well,
that's amazing. Well,
you've never heard that before from an actress.
No. I know. After we just did Quiet on set.
I know, it was like very different experience. Also, these kids are like super talented. They're way more protected now, for sure. I honestly, I've seen this also because I work in production. Now I've seen all the documentaries, and of course, when you see this, and when you work with kids now, they give you a handbook. And before the kid comes to set, I have to know every single law and requirement like by head. And now I understand why after seeing all the documentaries. But they were really on top with us with all of that. Like the time they come in, but the time they break for bathroom, to eat, for study, who's there when they're changing, who's there, who's putting a mic on them, like who's there on set. There's so many rules.
Goodness.
Then when you see the document, like, okay, now it makes sense why we have to know all of this. And how much we evolved also as an industry. We are still evolving, but we are doing better. That's for sure.
Well, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, oh my gosh. That's good that things are changing. So
wow.
Amazing.
Well, thank you for joining us, Paula.
Yes, this is so much fun.
Our first
Make
guest.
sure you guys follow her on Instagram. We'll also put her on our Instagram as well.
We'll put on our Instagram
just for you guys to give her a follow. Yeah.
So excited to see what you do next.
Oh, thank you. This was fun. You can always call me to trash some movies. I love
we will. You're on speed dial.
This is what I do, like with my friends. We just like sit down and trash movies, and we love movies.
It's the best.
That's why we do it.
Yep. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Paula, for being on the show today. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, give us a thumbs up, all the good things, only good feedback. We don't care if you don't like us. Don't comment that you don't like us. We don't want to hear it. We're here just to judge all the time, and we can't wait to
do it again.
Give you our thoughts next week again. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.